So now we're on Daf Kuf Beis Omid Beis, and we get to some gory cases, which I can't even fathom how this happens. But Ochal Tzipor Tahor B'Chayeha. Whoa. He eats up a bird that's alive. Now, had this bird died without shchita, which would make it into an avela, then clearly he would only be chayiv if he eats a kizayis. But now he ate a bird, a kosher bird, but it's alive.
Right.
So now he could be chayiv if he eats a full limb, even if that limb is less than a kizayis. And that's what's called b'kol shehu. A very small bird, but who cares? It's a full bird, and yechayv mishum ever min achai. Now, why is that called ever min achai? Ever min achai means a limb of a larger organism, a larger body. Here he ate the whole body, hook, line, and sinker. Why is that called ever min achai? So this is the sugya we're about to get to, which is called Bechayel le'evareha omedes. That an animal during its lifetime, in the minds of man, is made up of individual limbs. That's according to one Mandion. Because you don't have any intention of eating the entire animal as a whole, but rather chopping it up into various limbs, various pieces. And therefore you could be chai for Eivim and Chai on every single limb. Because it's Bechayel le'evarim omedes. Utmea, now we're talking about a non-kosher bird. Bein b'chayeh, bein b'visasa b'kolsher. Okay, if it's b'chayeha, maybe for a guy you'd be chay b'kolsher if it's a small limb. Or maybe you hold that even Israel is chay for a non-kosher bird. But once it's dead, then you can only be chay mishum nevela. How can you be chayiv for a mashahu of an avela? An avela requires a kazayas. There's no achilu with less than a kazayas. Oh, so we're going to pull out the same answer. Hachinami b'mashu basar gin vatzos. Even though there's only a mashu of basar, but if we add the gin vatzos together, we get a full kazayas. Just 1 second, I'm a little bit confused about one thing. He has a little bit of a summary here. He says, a kosher living animal is Avram and Achai, minimum is a kizayis, but the kizayis could be made up of a small amount of flesh together with sinews and the bones. A dead kosher animal is nevela, and he's got to eat a kizayis of the flesh without the bones and without the sinews. A non-kosher animal is forbidden as non-kosher meat. So he has to eat a minimum of a kizayis of flesh. However, I got it. That's what I was missing, the word buried. Yeah, so that's what he's saying, that if the animal is dead, obviously you have to eat a kizayis unless you eat the entire animal. which is Basar Gidin Vatzomos, and then it has the status of a birya, for which you chayiv even a less than a kizayis. Okay, Toshma. We don't have. You have a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Toshma. Okay. Now again, we're holding now by Rav. And Rav says a yechaya for Evim and Achai, but you have to eat a kizayis. The kizayis could be made up of A, B, and C. Toshma, what are we going to do with the following brisa? Not al tzipor she'ein bo kizayis. Very lean, kind of small bird. And viacholo, it's alive. Rebbe Poter, Rebbe Elazar, Reb Shimon Mechayev. So it would seem to me that the Gemara is now raising an objection against Rav from the Shita of Rebbe. However, Rebbe Elazar, Reb Shimon Mechayev. Why? Because Omer Rebbe Elazar, Reb Shimon Kal V'chomer. Al Ever Mimenu Chayev, Al Kulo Lo Kolshke. He's eating a full bird. I can't understand how you could eat a full living bird. That's beyond me.
I don't know.
I don't know. Pop it in. I don't know. But people eat all sorts of things, right? So he ate a live full bird. And Rabbi Elazar says the following: if you chai for Avim and a chai for one Avim, then for sure you chai if you ate the whole thing. Because Rabbi Elazar understands that a live animal is really broken up into individual limbs.
At some point,
yeah.
I was just gonna say, sorry to interrupt. At some point, the live bird will not be alive.
Right. And
If
then we'll
you're
cut it up
eating the
into
whole
limbs.
bird.
And since we're going to cut it up into limbs after it dies, even when it's alive, we view it as distinct limbs. And therefore, your whole live bird is really just a composite of limbs.
All the limbs, right?
Whereas Rebbe is going to say, no, a whole live bird is not a limb. It's a whole bird. Now, he choked the bird and then ate it. Okay, so then it's a dead bird, and you're chayiv for eating a dead bird.
Zion.
And it's nevela. Nevela requires that you eat a kazayis. Ad kan lo pligi. What's the source of the machlok between Rebbe and Rebbe Elazar? That's the Mars. So according to Rebbe Elazar, is b'chayeha an animal in its lifetime. Is leifar momedes, right? You're already anticipating after its death that you're going to cut it up into limbs. Then even while it's alive, we view it as a composite of many individual limbs. Marsa, according to Rebbe, I'm adding another word. Behema b'chayel lav leifar momedes. It's a live animal. I'm not thinking about cutting it up into limbs. It's an entity. It has an identity and personality of its own. It's not a composite of limbs. The kuliyal would be a lopa in kizayis. So everybody agrees that what? Just 1 second. So what he ate now? An aver, right, which he ripped off from the animal's body. And now we get the logic of Rabbi Elazar that certainly be chai favor min achai if you eat the whole animal, because everybody agrees that if you would rip off a limb of the live animal, you'd be chayav, and Rabbi Elazar understands that the live animal is made up of many different limbs, and therefore, even if he eats the entire live animal in one shot, It's as if he ate many different limbs. He probably was chayiv malchus for every single limb. Omar of Nachman, b'mashu basar gidin vatzamos. When would we have a case where everyone would agree that you don't need a kazais? It means you don't need a kazais of basar, but the entire limb, according to Rebbe, is made up of a kazais. That kazais is a total combination of flesh, sinews, and bones. Frek the Gemara, umi kamidid bekule lesbehu kazais basar. Ubechada al aver is kazais b'mashu basar gidvat somos. Is there really such a thing? Does such a thing exist in the Welt that you could have a bird? The entire body of the bird is made up of these three elements, but the flesh of the bird is less than a kazayas. Omar Rav Sharba, yes, in Bekolanisa. What's a kolanisa? He writes here, it's a very lean bird, has thick bones, but very little flesh. Amos Seifa, Chanukah v'achola, he choked the bird and then he ate it. Divrei Akol b'kazayis, right? Because now he's not chayf even machai, he's only chayf for the vela. So what's the Gemara's kasha now? V'ha kol anisa of tameh. V'yomar Rav tmeya bein b'chaya b'misasa b'mashu. Right? Rav was the one who said that a non-kosher bird, right? A non-kosher bird, he's chayiv, whether it's alive or dead, and kolanisa is an oftame, is a non-kosher bird. And Rav says, "B'mashu." So why do you tell me you need a kazayis? Ela ke'ein kolanisa. It's a kosher bird that's similar to a kolanisa. Omar Rafa imtim tzalam esava Rebbe machsheves ochlin shma machshava. Can an individual have in mind that he is going to break up the animal into segments, into individual limbs, and now he's going to be chai for Avram and Achai, even according to Rebbe, based on his machshava, when he eats one limb. I'm sorry, when he eats the entire animal. Comes along Rava and he says, "Yeah, be chai." Amalei Abaye, how could that be? No one on the face of the earth would be chayav for eating one limb of the live animal. I'm sorry, for no one on the face of the earth would be excluded from. Sorry, one more time. He ate the entire animal. And now we're saying that anyone who eats the entire animal is potter, according to Rebbe. But this guy, says Rav, is going to be chayiv. Why? Because he had in mind that he's going to cut it up into limbs. This, I think, is a brisker example of a gavra chefza kind of thing. Meaning, Abai is arguing that if it's a chefza disur for him, it's got to be a chefza disur for everybody else. And if everybody else, it's not a chefza disur, how can it be a chefza disur for him? Comes along Rav and he holds an isa gavra. Everybody else thinks of the animal as a whole. They don't envision chopping it up into segments, into limbs. But this individual had a machshava that he wants to chop it up into limbs. So for him, every limb is Avram and Achai. The Amar Rava, I think the same logic again. Im tim tzalom esav Rab Elazar Rab Shimon machshavas ochlin shma machshava. I can't tell you for sure, but let's, for argument's sake, theoretically assume that according to Rab Elazar Rab Shimon, a machshava of ochlin is a valid machshava. It registers. Is chishev li'ochla mesa v'achol chaya potter. Whoa. He had in mind to eat it as a dead animal. He didn't have in mind to eat it as a live animal. Whereas Rabbi Elazar says if you eat it as a live animal, you chayv favor min achai. So we're going to say now that since his machshava was not to cut it up into pieces, but to wait till it dies and eat it then, therefore, if he eats it while it's alive, then we're going to say that he ate a full live animal. He didn't eat limbs of an animal, and therefore he should be potter. Anybody else who would eat the animal whole, live, according to Rabbi Elazar, would be chayav, but he's not chayav because his intention was to eat it after it dies. Says Rabbi, yeah. Amalei, Rabbi responds, Zelafi machshavta, Zelafi machshavta. And finally, to try to end the daf, Omer Rabbi Yochanan lo sochal hanefesh ima basar ze ever min achai. Oh, now we have a question about ever min achai on a behemoth treifa. Ubasa basar the treifa lo sochelu ze basar min achai ubasa min a treifa. So according to Rabbi Yochanan, they're two separate lavim. But two separate psukim. And who disagrees, Rabbi Yochanan, as usual? Rav Shimon ben Lakish. Lo sochal nefesh im habasar ze ever min achai ubasar min achai. Right, because it says nefesh, which means min achai, and it says basar. So both ever min achai and basar min achai are included under one law. But basar basar treifa lo sochel, that's a separate law for treifa. Ze basar min a treifa. So what's the nafkamina here? Oh, here's the nafkamina. Ochal ever min achai ubasar min achai. How many violations is he chayav for if he ate both ever min achai and basar min achai? According to Rabbi Yochanan, there are two psukim, and therefore he's chayav shtayim. He violated two lavin. Whereas Reish Lakish holds that the iser of flesh of basar min achai is part and parcel of the iser ever min achai. It's not a separate iser; it's all derived from one parcel. Therefore, Rabbi Yochanan chayav shtayim. Well, Rav Shimon Lakish ain't chayav alachas. Okay, now we have another nafkamina in the exact opposite direction. Ochal basar min achai basar min treifa. I'm skipping Reish Lakish for a minute. Rabbi Yochanan ain't chayav alachas. Why is he chayav achas? Excuse me, because treifa is included in the lav of basar min achai. How's that so? Again, Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Lo sochal hanefesh ma basar. Ah, right. Because Rabbi Yochanan learns basar min achai from the lav of treifa. So that means basar min achai is the same iser and the same violation as treifa. According to Reish Lakish, basar min achai is the same violation as Ever min achai, and therefore treifa is a separate lav. So if he eats treifa and Ever min achai, he gets two sets of malchus. But according to Rabbi Yochanan, if he eats basar min achai and basar min treifa, he gets two sets of malchus according to Islam. According to Rabbi Yochanan, that basar min achai is derived from the pasuk of what? Of basar v'treifa basar v'treifa lo tochelu. Therefore, basar min achai and treifa part of one isur, and therefore he's only chayav achas. Another case. Here, everybody agrees. Ochal Avrim and Achai Basim and a Treifa. So Avrim and Achai for sure, and excuse me, Treifa are two separate lavim, and therefore Chayiv Shtayim. Okay, then I think this is where we'll stop. Well, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
shkoyach.
yeah.
Yeah, very good.
All right, great.
Okay,
Okay, all the
all right,
best.
shkoyach.
Uriminu, let's just see a little bit more here on Kuf Gimel. The Gemara says stira, because we have a tradition that ochal Avrim and Achai min treifa. So now he's eating an Avrim and Achai of a treifa. The treifa is still alive. It's got a puncture in its internal organ. It's treif, but it's still alive, and he ate an Avrim and Achai. So Rabbi Yochanan Amar Chayv Shtayim. I mean, that makes a lot of sense because treifa and Avrim and Achai are two separate lav. Reish Lakish Amar Eino Chayav Elo Achas. Why is that? Bishlem Rabbi Yochanan Nicha. I understand. They're two different lavim. They each generate respectively a different set of its own set of malchus. El Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish Kasha. I mean, how can you tell me he's chayav only one set of malchus when he agreed that they're two separate lavim for Emin Chai and Treifa? Rabbi Yosef lo kasha kan b'behema achas kan b'shtei behemos. In the machlokas between Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish, we're talking about a case where he removed a limb from a live treifa, whereas earlier, kan b'shtei behemos, he ate Avrim and Achai from a regular normal animal, and he ate basar from a dead treifa. So b'shtei behemos mechayiv shtayim. Reish Lakish is not going to argue in the case of two behemoths. He's chayiv two sets of malchus because he ate Avrim and Achai from one living, healthy animal, and he ate basar of a treifa after it died. The behema achas pli. So they're going to argue about behema achas, right? As we said before, behema achas means that there's one animal and it's alive. It's a treifa. He removed a limb from the treifa. Rabbi Yochanan says he's chayiv shtayim, and Reish Lakish holds chayiv one. What's the machlokas? The behema achas b'may pligi. I mean, he definitely violated two different isurim. Okay, so it was one animal, but who cares? He violated eating from a limb from a living animal, and he violated eating from a treifa, which is a separate law. Rabbi kigon shenitrifa mitzias ruva. Mar sover behema v'chaya levarim omedes. Isu treifa isu ever chay b'hadi adodi kasi. Umar sover behema v'chaya lav levarim omedes. The isur ever chayil a isur. V'loasi isur ever chayil a isur treifa. Okay, then. This is where we'll stop.